Welcome to Naturally Inspired Radio, where we expose what's broken in the healthcare system, connect you to real health solutions, and inspire you to take back control of your life. We want to help you feel empowered, informed, and free to live naturally without fear, confusion, or dependency. Download our latest book on real solutions for health at naturallyinspiredradio.com. Naturally Inspired Radio is a nationally syndicated show broadcast on over 100 radio stations, online platforms, video channels, and podcast feeds. Follow us on your favorite platform today, hit that like button, leave a comment, and engage in our special live stream chats, Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com to learn more, register for our weekly giveaway, and explore past episodes. You can also connect directly with Tammy, follow her on all major social media platforms, and discover more about our featured guests and trusted radio partners. Are you looking for better health? Work with Tammy today and take the first step toward a healthier, more empowered lifestyle. Schedule your complimentary 30-minute lifestyle assessment to explore personalized guidance on nutrition, movement, toxin-free living, and natural beauty without pharma. Get started now and discover Tammy's preferred health products at naturallyinspiredstore.com or text Tammy directly 720-303-8868. Love the show and want to support the movement? Head over to naturallyinspiredradio.com and click on the support tab. There you'll find all the ways you can get involved. Join our Naturally Inspired community, become a preferred customer, attend one of our amazing live events, get your backstage pass for exclusive access, and connect to all things naturally inspired. Thank you for tuning in today. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
Did you know that a single collagen supplement could support your heart health, help protect against EMF exposure, and reduce inflammation all at the same time? Our preferred foundational collagen not only supports radiant skin and joint mobility, but also promotes heart health, reduces inflammation, strengthens hair and nails, provides added protection against the effects of EMF exposure, and so much more. Our favorite collagen is super absorbable and easy to take. Just 1 tablespoon in the morning and another in the evening for maximum benefits. Here's what our listeners have to say.
This collagen is so easy to take, I've noticed a huge difference in my hair and nails after just a few weeks.
Since I started using Tammy's preferred collagen, my joints feel more flexible and my skin looks smoother.
Try it today at naturallyinspiredradio.com/collagen. When you purchase from Naturally Inspired, you get access to our group health coaching call and so much more. Go to naturallyinspiredradio.com/collagen.
Are you ready to stay informed and inspired 24/7? Tune in to Naturally Inspired Radio anytime, anywhere. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com, or for the best mobile experience, download the Simple Radio app. Search for Naturally Inspired Radio, save it to your favorites, and click on the graphic to listen instantly. Catch live broadcasts, revisit past shows, dive into long-form podcast conversations, and discover rare, censored presentations by leading health experts. Plus, explore documentaries uncovering the hidden truths of occult and esoteric history. Stay connected, stay inspired. Naturally Inspired Radio is always at your fingertips. Tune in now. For health questions or comments, text Tammy directly at 720-303-8868. naturallyinspiredradio.com.
The information and other content provided on this radio show or in any linked materials is provided for informational purposes only, not intended and should not be construed as medical advice. It is not a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment.
Well, you made it. You made it to Friday. It is Friday, and it's the end of the week. And here in Northern Colorado, it's raining, and it's a little cool outside, but I kind of like it. It's a nice little break from the heat that we've been getting. So a little cool, crisp, and wet here in Northern Colorado. I have to laugh at this. I was chatting with an older gentleman recently, and it's just funny because nobody in our community, I'm not revealing any secrets here, just a random older dude. I often find myself getting into conversations with older guys, these older guys, because they just don't care. They'll talk to anybody. And I think I just have one of those faces that, people just like to tell stuff to. So I was talking to this older guy the other day, and he was asking me about what I do and health and all that stuff. Of course, that topic always seems to come up when I'm chatting with somebody. And, I said, well, it's not the old diet that we're used to anymore. It's not really, turns out that's not the one that is going to create health, and, turns out, so a lot of these grains and whole grains and stuff like that isn't really the way to go with your diet. He find that interesting. What do you mean by that? And I say, well, you got to get your protein in, you got to get your protein in. Really what we're finding is that you want to have the bulk of your calories coming from protein and fat. Oh, yeah. I get my protein. And I said, okay, you do. Well, tell me what does an average day look like for you? Well, and he proceeds to list off a bunch of carbohydrates. I have some toast, but I have some eggs and I have some bacon and I just kind of had a laugh with him or whatever. And we just kept talking about it. But it brought to my attention, I'm being serious when I say you have to go high protein. It's not like you can do both. Okay, so you can't commit to high protein diet, steak, eggs, chicken, ground turkey, ground chicken, fish, all like there's so many, chicken thighs, chicken wings, like there's so many ways, eggs, dairy, so many ways to get your protein in. And I think people are, they feel like, wow, that's a lot of protein. But really it isn't. If you're tracking your protein, 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight is what is suggested for optimum health and for preventing muscle mass loss and all of that stuff. But it really is like protein based. I'm not joking. It's not protein and toast. It's not protein and a little bit of pasta. I'm sorry. I wish it was okay to do that, but what's happening is you're undoing all your good work. You're dedicating yourself to getting your protein in, and then you are spiking your blood sugar anyways. So you really, if you want, really good results, and I'm not saying you can never, ever, ever have pasta again. But what I am saying is that if you are committed right now and you are like, I need to turn these results around. I need to turn this car around because my results are bordering on diabetes. My results are bordering on dis-ease in the body. Then you can't afford to have the carbohydrates right now. You gotta stick to an all protein, fresh whole food diet. And that does not include a piece of toast or half a croissant or a little bit of pasta or, some rice Well, let's just add like a couple tablespoons of rice. That is just spiking your blood sugar levels, right? It's just creating, it's not enough to go, downsize your carbohydrates. If you're going to up your protein levels and your healthy fat levels, which you need to do in order to stay satisfied, right? To trigger the satiety response that you need to keep yourself from wanting to overeat, then you got to get your bulk of the calories from the protein and the healthy fats and the volume from your fruits and vegetables. So you're not doing yourself any favors if you just cut back. Now you're eating kind of almost the worst diet that you could eat because you are still spiking the blood sugar and you're eating high fat and high protein. So, it's something to really consider. So just having this conversation with this old guy, it was like, yeah, I think people don't quite understand that we're talking about, getting rid of these processed carbohydrates. And bread is a processed carbohydrate. And pasta is a processed carbohydrate. And again, so I'm not saying never, ever, ever. I'm saying cut it out if you want fast results. And then pepper it in from time to time. Don't... I'm not the type of person that is going to advise you don't have a piece of birthday cake on your birthday. But what I am telling you is if you go high protein and high fat for long enough, you are not going to want that stuff. You are going to search out different foods that meet your satiety, that are, celebration foods for you, that don't make you feel yucky after you eat them. And see, what happens is the longer you eat high protein, high fat, and really balance your blood sugar, every time you do indulge in those sugary sweet treats, you end up feeling terrible. I'm sorry to say. It's a sharp contrast. And so once you realize that, it's like, I'm not going back to that. I'm going to start making me some, full fat whipped cream with berries and maybe some chocolate with it, with some monk fruit sweetened, sweetened by monk fruit or sweetened by stevia or sweetened by even a little bit of really good high quality maple syrup, So I guess what I'm saying is you find different alternatives, and it's not about willpower at that point. You don't need willpower. It's just a way of life for you. It all balances out. It's like if anybody listening has ever stopped smoking, right? When you really know you're over smoking is when you see someone smoking or you smell someone smoking, you go, gross, I can't believe I ever did that. That's kind of the same thing that happens with processed carbohydrates. Trust me, it may be a rocky road in the beginning where you feel like, oh, I'm giving this up, I'm giving that up. But trust me, stay the course and you'll be so glad that you did. Anyway, I've got a great show for you today. My daily topic today, I want to talk about culture. I want to talk about the shaping of culture in our country. Specifically, like what are all these little agendas adding up to, right? What is the climate cult agenda adding up to? What is the, no kids type of selfish culture? I feel like the social media culture, the inauthentic fakeness that we see. And then finally, the promoting of not wanting to preserve legacy. That's what I'm going to share with you today about this. Anyway, it's all leading to kind of this different way of living, a different culture that, quite honestly, I think is anti-American. I'm going to say it. I think it goes against the roots of America. We're going to talk about that. Another story from CBS News I'm going to share with you. There's a woman on CBS News who is supposed to be a vaccine expert. And let me tell you, I got a lot to say about that. I'm going to share a clip with you about that. What angle I think they're working here And also there's breaking news about Hulk Hogan. I don't know if you heard this, but Hulk Hogan's death is now being investigated into because they suspect that it was medical malpractice. That's pretty interesting. And then we're going to touch on a vegan diet for children because there's a new study out about that, what you need to know about that. Not something I recommend, but we'll talk about it. Health topic today, what your gums are telling you about your health. And then, of course, we'll have a naturally inspired moment. So stay tuned, everybody. It is Friday, and this is Naturally Inspired Radio. I'm Tammy Cuthbert Garcia. I'm so glad you're here.
Did you know that a single collagen supplement could support your heart health, help protect against EMF exposure, and reduce inflammation all at the same time? Our preferred foundational collagen not only supports radiant skin and joint mobility, but also promotes heart health, reduces inflammation, strengthens hair and nails, provides added protection against the effects of EMF exposure, and so much more. Our favorite collagen is super absorbable and easy to take. Just 1 tablespoon in the morning and another in the evening for maximum benefits. Here's what our listeners have to say.
This collagen is so easy to take, I've noticed a huge difference in my hair and nails after just a few weeks.
Since I started using Tammy's preferred collagen, my joints feel more flexible and my skin looks smoother.
Try it today at naturalinspiredradio.com/collagen. When you purchase from Naturally Inspired, you get access to our group health coaching call and so much more. Go to naturalinspiredradio.com/collagen. Did you know that medicinal mushrooms are excellent for pets? Take our preferred pet health products for joint health, skin health, antioxidant protection, sow health, anti-aging benefits, gut health, liver support, cholesterol regulation, blood pressure support, brain health, anxiety relief, respiratory health, endurance and strength, anti-fatigue, and much more. Available in easy-to-take treats, great-tasting gravy, and our pet food blends.
Since adding mushroom dog food to my dog's diet, I've noticed a huge improvement in his energy and coat health. He's like a puppy again, even at 10 years old.
After starting my care on mushroom super sauce, her immune health and digestion have noticeably improved. She's more playful, and her fur has never looked shinier.
Learn how to get free shipping and how to join our monthly mushroom call. Text Tammy with questions or to order at 720-303-8868. Visit naturalinspiredradio.com/mushroom. That's naturalinspiredradio.com/mushroom.
Are you ready to stay informed and inspired 24/7? Tune in to Naturally Inspired Radio anytime, anywhere. Visit naturalinspiredradio.com, or for the best mobile experience, download the Simple Radio app. Search for Naturally Inspired Radio, save it to your favorites, and click on the graphic to listen instantly. Catch live broadcasts, revisit past shows, dive into long-form podcast conversations, and discover rare, censored presentations by leading health experts. Plus, explore documentaries uncovering the hidden truths of occult and esoteric history. Stay connected, stay inspired. Naturally Inspired Radio is always at your fingertips. Tune in now. For health questions or comments, text Tammy directly at 720-303-8868. naturalinspiredradio.com.
We're back. You're listening to Naturally Inspired Radio. Miss Christy Hall will be joining us today. That is Dr. Christy Hall. We're going to be talking about microplastics. We're going to be talking about nanoplastics. And we're going to be talking about her new program to detox. So you're not going to want to miss it. You know she's one of my favorites. I just love her. She is just, she undersells herself. And that's kind of rare in today's world. Everybody's always talking themselves up and, showboating around and and being so flashy and crazy online. And the people that should be that way, I feel like, aren't. And that's Dr. Christy Hall. She just, she's got such a wealth of information. She's worked so incredibly hard for her knowledge base. She has no shortage of certifications. And she's just recently, over the last year, earned her PhD So she's officially Dr. Christy Hall. I love her. You want to stay tuned. 4:30, she'll be on. But in the meantime, I want to talk about some of these really important topics here. And the first one I want to talk about is our culture in this country. Nobody is going to regulate our culture into the country. Okay, nobody's going to say we want good old values and we're gonna regulate them. That's not going to happen. We are responsible for shaping culture in our country. The citizenry of this country is responsible for shaping the culture. If you want our country to be a certain way, the very best thing you can do is live those values, live those beliefs. And don't bend a knee when they get challenged. Right? Don't bend a knee when they get challenged, because there's some heavy stuff coming up. I mean, like, we've already been exposed to a lot of heavy stuff, but there's even more stuff coming up with artificial intelligence, with the digital revolution. As I talk about, how they're going to implement that is by tearing down what is left of American values and American belief systems. I see it. I see it coming. And this little piece, and it's interesting to me how at first an idea comes from outside of the country. You know, I think it's Obama. Obama had a piece of legislation that removed the law that American government could not propagandize to its own citizenry. That was Obama that removed that. But prior to that, they got around that anyway. What they did was they wanted a story out that maybe wasn't the truth, but a way to shape the culture in America. They simply employed outside people, like in the UK, to write the stories. That's what they do. They employ other news agencies to do the dirty work. And so that's become kind of a pattern. So when you spot a news story kind of like outside of the country, you got to wonder what the intent is and where it's coming from. And this one caught my eye. This one caught my eye for sure. So you know that I have been talking about the climate cult, a lot lately. I call it the cult because that's exactly what it is. And when you put together the pieces of the puzzle here, it became very clear to me that climate agenda, the climate, saving the world through climate change, all of that stuff would be a great way to achieve another goal, which is to fill the energy crisis that's coming, that's here, with artificial intelligence. And so when you put the pieces together, it starts to become really clear that the wringing out of consumption when it comes to energy from us, taking away incandescent light bulbs, making sure people don't, water their grass too much. All of the climate stuff that's been happening over the last couple of decades is strangely aligns with the fact that these data centers have to be built all over to be able to support the infrastructure of the tsunami of artificial intelligence and the digital revolution that we find ourselves in. So I brought up this idea that perhaps, just maybe, some of these coastal fires would be the areas, because they're not being rebuilt, could possibly be centered around the fact that they want to build data centers along the coastline, because these data centers have to be cooled by water. And in other countries, Google has built a water-cooled data center right by the Baltic Sea. So here's another piece of that. Here's a quick snippet that I saw on Twitter today. Again, coastal property, okay, in Malibu. Let's take a look. So this is lots in Malibu. 9 Malibu lots have just been purchased by a foreign investor for $65 million. Wouldn't it be great as a foreign investor to own that property, to be able to rent it, sell it to Silicon Valley or tech people that need and want to buy or to build, rather, data centers right off the coastline there? It's a sound investment. And people decided not to rebuild there because they were offered money and the permitting and whatnot would take far too long. So they tie it all up in regulation so that, people can't buy their own property back. It's just too intense of a process. So they walk away. I don't know. It makes a lot of sense to me. Again, there's a lot of things going on to shape culture. So here's another thing I wanted to share with you. And I think this is really aimed at killing our will to thrive. Take a listen to this clip about inheritance. Here it is.
Well, at the moment is an aristocracy of wealth in this country. It's also true of the United States as well. So what I would do, and I wouldn't be opposed to, by the way, I wouldn't be opposed to 100% inheritance tax. Or maybe let's say 99%. My rule might be that if you can put it in 2p bags, then you can hand it over. That's fine. 99, 95%. I'm being provocative, but you see what I mean. I would not be against a far higher rate of inheritance tax than we have at the moment, which is 40% above a certain threshold. I wouldn't be opposed to putting that to 50%, 60%, 70%. Why? Because I think the quid pro quo should be twofold. One, that helps fund public services, which actually helps level the playing field in achieving a true meritocracy. Two, it will help us reduce taxes on income. Because at the end of the day, I want to incentivize work. I want to incentivize productivity. I want to incentivize people to get up off their backsides and do more. You don't have a right to inherit. You should have a right to work while you're alive and keep more of your own money. That to me is more important, way more important, than your right to just inherit some money from mummy and daddy.
This gets me fired up just thinking about it, because what I see here is there's effort to pull, so we're going into the AI revolution, right? We've talked about that. On the mainstream, your NBC, your CBS, your CNN, all your mainstream programming, the only thing they are focusing on when it comes to AI is job loss. Oh, we're going to have to find new jobs. Don't worry, universal basic income. It'll be all right. They're not talking about the real meat and potatoes of the fallout of artificial intelligence and the impact that it's going to have on our everyday lives. Everybody's. There's nobody's life that is not going to be impacted by artificial intelligence. And so when I see this type of rhetoric being said, I have to, it's grooming. It's grooming people to accept that, inheritance is not your right. It is not a legacy that you should be shooting for, because don't worry, we're all the same. We're all going to be on universal basic income. And no, you don't have a right to your parents' hard work. For many of us, legacy is what drives us, right? Why do all this if you're not advancing your legacy, your children, your children's children? They're trying to kill your will to thrive. Stay tuned, everybody. We're going to break, but we'll be right back. This is Naturally Inspired Radio.
Are achy joints holding you back? Are you tired of stiffness slowing you down? It's time to restore with Joint Restore Gummies from Prosper CBD. These delicious strawberry-flavored gummies aren't just tasty, They're designed to soothe joint discomfort, promote flexibility, and help you move freely again. No more messy creams or bitter pills. Just one gummy a day to get you back to doing what you love. Best of all, no prescription needed.
My husband was headed towards knee surgery, and I was having hip pain. A friend recommended these. We tried them, and they worked great. We noticed a difference right away.
Right now, Prosper Wellness is offering a special deal, so don't wait. Go to jointrestore1.com. That's jointrestore1.com. Grab your Joint Restore gummies today. Be sure to use the promo code TAMMY, TAMMY, for 20% off your order.
Did you know 80% of beef consumed in the U.S. comes from 4 major corporations, much of it being imported or processed with additives? Want real beef from a real farm? Pumpkin Creek Ranch does things the right way. Local, grass-fed, dry-aged beef with no additives, no shortcuts, just honest quality.
Pumpkin Creek Ranch beef is the real deal. I love knowing exactly where my meat comes from. No additives, no nonsense, just honest quality beef.
Best beef I've ever had. You can taste the difference. Rich, tender, and packed with real flavor. Plus, supporting a local ranch makes it even better.
From pasture to plate, they raise their cattle with care, so you can get rich, natural flavor that only real ranching can provide. Stock your freezer with premium beef you can trust. Visit pumpkincreekranchco.com or call 970-658-0176.
Did you know that detoxing daily can help remove up to 70% of the toxins in your body? Let me share 3 real stories about how Greska's C60 has helped people feel their best every day. John from Denver, Colorado says,
I've always struggled with seasonal allergies, but since I started taking Greska's C60 every day, my symptoms have significantly improved. I don't feel congested or tired all the time. It's been an amazing daily detox for my body, and I feel so much more energized.
Emily from Portland, Oregon says,
As an athlete, I was looking for a way to keep my body clean and detoxed. Greska's C60 has been a great addition to my routine. I feel less bloated and I feel more clear-headed. Plus, it's helped me with occasional muscle stiffness and aches after intense workouts.
Visit c60.com or call 720-600-6040 today to start your own journey. Use promo code TAMMY at checkout for a special discount.
Your cellular reset has been my secret weapon for bouncing back after stressful weeks. My joints feel less stiff. I wake up feeling ready to go, even after a tough day before. Of course, that's from our friend Jason in Montana. He's 52. He is loving the cellular reset. If you struggle with inflammation, if you want to get some help with your health on a cellular level, which is what we talk about here all the time, that really is where we get to root cause when we support our health at the cellular level. You can do it with our cellular reset. All you have to do is go to naturallyinspiredstore.com, click on the cellular reset, and get yours ordered today. Here's the thing I want to talk about: culture. Okay. This is what we're facing. We have this agenda around climate, right? The narrative is that save the planet, save the planet. But at the same time, we have elites flying around on jets, and we have them investing, in AI, which is the biggest energy sucker and assault on our quote climate, because it's the biggest energy user. So it doesn't add up. It doesn't add up. There's a different reason for the reason to kind of push down on the population to preserve the planet. It's an emotional storyline they need people to buy into to get that energy, to save that energy. Because we know the infrastructure of AI and the digital revolution that's coming is it's unquantifiable how big and how much energy that is going to require. So we have that going on. I reported last week on, or maybe it was earlier this week, on pod babies, right? This is a real thing. This isn't science fiction. China announced that they'll be have their first pod baby born in 2026. It is literally a petri dish type of baby, right? Being housed in a pod, in a fake womb. We have that going on. We have the biomedical, right? The biological revolution that people like Eric Schmidt and Larry Ellison talk about. This is where they are merging man and machine through biotechnology. We have that going on. We have AI agents. We're already dealing with AI agents. Most of us don't even know it. These are virtual renditions of people that operate online as a real person. Call them bots, whatever. But more and more like regular people are using their AI avatar to interact with people. So we have that going on. We have robots coming out, right? Elon Musk is working on Optimus Prime robot, where he believes everybody will have a personal robot, that they will become that available. We have 15-minute cities, these little communities that are popping up where everything is inside the community. Everything you ever need, your Starbucks, your store, everything's right there. No need to leave the community, the 15-minute city. We have detachment, an ongoing agenda to detach humans from nature by synthesizing nature. We see things like all kinds of things, right? Where, you don't have to go here. You can experience it virtually. Also, we don't have to use the real seeds. We can use these GMO seeds. Oh, by the way, you don't have to take the real herbs and vitamins. You can take these synthesized petrochemicals, pharmaceuticals. There's a hijacking of nature and a synthesizing of it for patent and control. So we have that going on. We have the loss of independence through autonomous driving. No more, what is it? The projection, I think, is 2030, where most cars on the road will be autonomous driving cars. That's a loss of independence, and that's a dramatic change in our culture, if that is to happen. We have AI learning education, meaning everybody gets their own artificial intelligence tutor. The school as we know it is being transformed right now. We have that going on, massive impact on culture. We have telemedicine and AI doctors. I've been telling you since the beginning of COVID, we will not have the doctors that we have of today very, very soon. There just isn't the need for them. I believe we'll go to much more of a technician model where there'll be very specific tasks that technicians perform in medicine. And there'll only be a handful of doctors needed to oversee all of the, maybe even, I don't even know if they'll be charged with overseeing, because at this point, we're being programmed to trust artificial intelligence over human intelligence. So listen, all of these things, I'm not saying this to make you feel fearful. I'm not saying this to paint a dark picture here, but I am saying it to make you aware that you and I, the citizenry of this country, we are charged with creating culture in our country. And if we don't actively do that, it's going to be made for us. The culture will be made for us. And I don't really like this culture. This seems very isolating, right? Less community going on here and more interactions with machines. And that has a negative health outcome. We know for sure humans need nature. You need sunlight. You need to connect to nature. It brings down your blood pressure, for goodness sakes. Like, we have scientific proof we are to be connected to nature. We operate better when we're in a community. We need interaction. So there's so many different things here. But this whole agenda to not tie yourself to your legacy, to deconstruct that natural innate, need to provide for your legacy, to build a legacy, to leave something behind to your children. This is just another thing they are doing to tear down the family. I mean, geez, if you can have a pod baby, why get married? Why live in a family unit? Why not just, have a pod baby or just create pod babies and everybody's kind of on their own? They've made movies about this kind of stuff. It's hard to imagine. But if we don't actively try to create culture in our country the way we want this country to be, it'll be created for us. There is no doubt about that. These, I've played you, I don't know how many clips from Larry Ellison and Eric Schmidt, Ray Kurzweil, Sam Altman. These are the people shaping culture right now through artificial intelligence. They are actively seeking to solve death right now. Solve death, solve aging. You think that won't lead to population control? What does it mean to solve death? Can we even have a conversation about this? Because, many of us, we didn't ask you to do that. Are we going to have any agency on these topics? Because they are coming. And if people think they're not coming, then you're ill-informed. This is a huge game changer. This is not your industrial revolution type of, things change as time goes on. People get older and they don't like to see change. It's not about that. It's not about technology and being resistant against technology. It's not about being resistant against progress. It's not of any. This is changing humanity. When you start talking about augmenting humans through machines with Neuralink and mRNA technology and all of this other stuff, you are now talking about changing humanity at the cellular level. You're changing humanity. And I just think that we should all be in on that conversation, right? Instead of it just happening to us without any say. Without any input. What do we want our culture to look like? If we don't have, and this is the reason why we don't have a target when it comes to our culture in this country, is because we're all headed in different directions. And why are we all headed in different directions? Because of your algorithm. The portal, as I call it. Your phone is a portal. And when you dive into the portal, the algorithm is guiding you. And it's guiding everybody in a different way based on their interests. And that's why we have such a hard time coming together. But we need to come together if we want a culture that goes forward and supports humans. Stay tuned, everybody. We'll be right back.
Did you know that a single collagen supplement could support your heart health, help protect against EMF exposure, and reduce inflammation all at the same time? Our preferred foundational collagen not only supports radiant skin and joint mobility, but also promotes heart health, reduces inflammation, strengthens hair and nails, provides added protection against the effects of EMF exposure, and so much more. Our favorite collagen is super absorbable and easy to take. Just 1 tablespoon in the morning and another in the evening for maximum benefits. Here's what our listeners have to say.
This collagen is so easy to take, I've noticed a huge difference in my hair and nails after just a few weeks.
Since I started using Tammy's preferred collagen, my joints feel more flexible and my skin looks smoother.
Try it today at naturallyinspiredradio.com/collagen. When you purchase from Naturally Inspired, you get access to our group health coaching call and so much more. Go to naturallyinspiredradio.com/collagen. Did you know that medicinal mushrooms are excellent for pets? Take our preferred pet health products for joint health, skin health, antioxidant protection, sow health, anti-aging benefits, gut health, liver support, cholesterol regulation, blood pressure support, brain health, anxiety relief, respiratory health, endurance and strength, anti-fatigue, and much more. Available in easy-to-take treats, great-tasting gravy, and our pet food blends.
Since adding mushroom dog food to my dog's diet, I've noticed a huge improvement in his energy and coat health. He's like a puppy again, even at 10 years old.
After starting my care on mushroom super sauce, her immune health and digestion have noticeably improved. She's more playful, and her fur has never looked shinier.
Learn how to get free shipping and how to join our monthly mushroom call. Text Tammy with questions or to order at 720-303-8868. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com/mushroom. That's naturallyinspiredradio.com/mushroom.
Are you ready to stay informed and inspired 24/7? Tune in to Naturally Inspired Radio anytime, anywhere. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com, or for the best mobile experience, download the Simple Radio app. Search for Naturally Inspired Radio, save it to your favorites, and click on the graphic to listen instantly. Catch live broadcasts, revisit past shows, dive into long-form podcast conversations, and discover rare, censored presentations by leading health experts. Plus, explore documentaries uncovering the hidden truths of occult and esoteric history. Stay connected, stay inspired. Naturally Inspired Radio is always at your fingertips. Tune in now. For health questions or comments, text Tammy directly at 720-303-8868. naturallyinspiredradio.com.
We are back. So glad you're joining me today on this Friday afternoon. I didn't realize the way I was thinking about being unwell was actually keeping me unwell. Tammy showed me how to break that loop and reframe my thoughts. Everything changed from that moment on. That is from somebody in our Naturally Inspired community. Sometimes all you need is a mindset shift, and that's what we do here at Naturally Inspired. We have so many benefits to being a part of this community. The list is so long. It's like, wow. We are doing so much to help people, and I want you to take advantage of that. So all you have to do is book a 30-minute free consultation with me. Go to naturallyinspiredstore.com. I'd love to spend a little time with you and see how I can help walk alongside you to achieve your optimum health. Go to naturallyinspiredstore.com. Book your assessment today. Let's go to the Naturally Inspired moment. We've been talking a lot about fear this past week because this is a component and a variable to our health. A lot of people don't put much emphasis on their emotions when it comes to their health, but it is a variable. Just like, you can take your blood pressure, or you can read all your vital signs. Your fear level has a dramatic impact on your physical results. So, in addition to fear, I wanted to talk about the step before fear, because sometimes it's hard to identify fear if we have a racing mind. And many people are dealing with a racing mind. We have TikTok videos, 15-second TikTok videos. You're watching one after the other. You're on Instagram. They have reels on Instagram, one after the other. Social media, Facebook, like all of those platforms, and even TV. It's training and conditioning our brains for instant gratification. And our brains are trying to keep up with all of this new information as we're scrolling. It's never been this way. We've never had this amount of information put on us this rapidly. And so what we're seeing is people that they're having trouble slowing down their own thinking. Because everywhere you go, it's speed. And so the brain is being led in that cadence of quick, 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 quick. And that type of thinking can lead to things like anxiety and then burnout and then ultimately depression. So we need to be in control of how to slow down a racing mind. So here are 5 science-based strategies to slow down a racing mind. Number 1, activate your parasympathetic nervous system with breath. We've talked a lot about this 4, 4, 4, or some people use 4, 4, 7, 4, 4, 8, 4 box breathing. There's all these different patterns, but here's a really simple one. 4, inhale for 4 seconds, hold for 4 seconds, exhale for 4 seconds, hold for 4 seconds. This reduces sympathetic fight or flight activity and shifts the body into parasympathetic rest and digest mode. Studies show that this technique actually lowers your heart rate variability and quiets mental overactivity, of course, by calming the vagus nerve. We've talked a lot about the vagus nerve. The reason why I talk so much about it, because it is a tool you have right inside your body that when you know how to activate it, you can bring instant results into your body. Instant results. Just knowing, taking those breaths, that time out, right? Singing, humming, gargling, all of these things activate your vagus nerve, which brings calmness to the parasympathetic system. Okay, second thing is engage the prefrontal cortex through cognitive offloading. What does that mean? Cognitive offloading. Get it off your chest. That's cognitive offloading. Get it off your chest. Writing down your thoughts or to-do lists activates the brain's executive control center. So this reduces working memory load and prevents the amygdala, the fear emotion center, from overfiring. So neuroscience calls this cognitive offloading, and it literally frees up mental bandwidth. I call it real estate in your brain. If you are constantly dwelling on a situation, a bad relationship, a worry about your health, a financial problem, it's taking up real estate in your brain. Get it off your chest. Ruminating on it, playing it on a tape over and over is not helping solve the problem. Pick a path of action, do the work every day, and get it off your chest. Write it down. If you have to write it down 2 or 3 times, keep writing it down, but do not allow your brain to ruminate in this loop. It creates fight or flight. It creates anxiety, and it does not lead to good health outcomes. Use bilateral stimulation to disrupt overthinking loops. This is a good one. Alternating your eye movements, like following your finger from left to right, or rhythmic tapping. I've talked about tapping as a modality on here before. On each side of the body engages both hemispheres of the brain. So if you're feeling anxious, you can tap actually on both sides, alternating of your body. And because it gets the left and the right going, instead of just being all on the right full of emotion, you can find balance there and calming. So this is kind of called EMDR therapy, has been shown to weaken repetitive thought patterns and calm hyperactive neural circuits. It's a fabulous, right on the spot, something that you can implement. Number 4, apply thermal regulation for nervous system reset. Cooling your face. We talked about this earlier this week. So submerging it briefly in cold water activates the mammalian dive reflex, which slows heart rate and decreases your cortisol levels. Of course, cortisol is your stress hormone, right? Many people are living in overabundance of cortisol levels, that fight or flight stress response. So it's a great way to take control of your cortisol, giving yourself get a bowl of cold water, put a few ice cubes in it, submerge your face in it. It doesn't have to be your whole body right away. You can work up to that, or you can never work up to that, or you can just do a cold shower. It doesn't have to be a big, elaborate, piece of equipment that you have to invest in to get the same result. So the quick psychological reset communicates safety to the brain, reduces racing thoughts, driven by stress hormone. And number 5, shift brainwave activity with binaural beats. Jason loves this one. He loves binaural beats. Listening to binaural beats at 6 to 10 hertz, that's theta and alpha ranges, can entrain your brain activity away from fast beta waves associated with the overthinking and the anxiety. Even EEG studies confirm this induces a calmer, more meditative state that helps quiet a restless mind. Being able to have these types of strategies at your fingertips is the key to being able to be in control of a racing mind. This is what happens, I feel like. And the sad thing is, I think this happens with our kids. Because our kids don't necessarily have the vocabulary to express things like anxiety, think about what it must be like inside of a little body with no real understanding of words like anxiety or depression or, just feeling off, emotionally. You don't have that vocabulary as a small child. And then you're spending hours a day. What have we've learned recently? 7 hours a day. The average child is spending 7 hours a day in front of this portal, this phone, this iPad. It's entrainment. It's their mental entrainment. It's entraining their neural pathways, and it's setting them up, leading them down the pathway to anxiety and discomfort. And then they don't have the ability to express that because they don't possess the vocabulary to talk about this kind of thing. It leads to suffering in silence. And when we don't know what's wrong, as parents, if you're living in the mainstream idea of medical care, the only solution is medication. And the unfortunate thing is medication, and medication specifically used to treat those types of issues, leads to serious consequences that you don't receive informed consent about. So just by having a toolkit, you can avoid that whole thing. You have what you need right inside of your body to create the results you want. This is Naturally Inspired Radio. I'm Tammy Cuthbert-Garcia. Stay tuned. We'll be right back for the second hour.
Are you ready to stay informed and inspired 24/7? Tune in to Naturally Inspired Radio anytime, anywhere. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com, or for the best mobile experience, download the Simple Radio app. Search for Naturally Inspired Radio, save it to your favorites, and click on the graphic to listen instantly. Catch live broadcasts, revisit past shows, dive into long-form podcast conversations, and discover rare, censored presentations by leading health experts. Plus, explore documentaries uncovering the hidden truths of occult and esoteric history. Stay connected, stay inspired. Naturally Inspired Radio is always at your fingertips. Tune in now. For health questions or comments, text Tammy directly at 720-303-8868. naturallyinspiredradio.com.
Nearly 40% of Americans struggle with a $400 emergency expense. An extra $300 a month can be the difference between stability and financial stress.
Are you feeling the pinch of rising expenses? Imagine what an extra $300, $500, or even $1,000 a month can do for you. Introducing a simple 3-step system designed to help you create a steady income without the overwhelm. Step 1, follow our easy-to-use plan. Step 2, take small, consistent actions. Step 3, stay motivated with weekly coaching designed to keep you on track and moving forward. Whether you're saving for a family vacation, paying down debt, or just looking for breathing room, this system is for you. You don't need special skills, just the desire to make change. Join a growing community of success stories today. Visit simpleincome.info or text 720-764-7448.
Welcome to Naturally Inspired Radio, where we expose what's broken in the healthcare system, connect you to real health solutions, and inspire you to take back control of your life. We want to help you feel empowered, informed, and free to live naturally without fear, confusion, or dependency. Download our latest book on real solutions for health at naturallyinspiredradio.com. Naturally Inspired Radio is a nationally syndicated show broadcast on over 100 radio stations, online platforms, video channels, and podcast feeds. Follow us on your favorite platform today, hit that like button, leave a comment, and engage in our special live stream chats, Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com to learn more, register for our weekly giveaway, and explore past episodes. You can also connect directly with Tammy, follow her on all major social media platforms, and discover more about our featured guests and trusted radio partners. Are you looking for better health? Work with Tammy today and take the first step toward a healthier, more empowered lifestyle. Schedule your complimentary 30-minute lifestyle assessment to explore personalized guidance on nutrition, movement, toxin-free living, and natural beauty without pharma. Get started now and discover Tammy's preferred health products at naturallyinspiredstore.com or text Tammy directly 720-303-8868. Love the show and want to support the movement? Head over to naturallyinspiredradio.com and click on the support tab. There you'll find all the ways you can get involved. Join our Naturally Inspired community, become a preferred customer, attend one of our amazing live events, get your backstage pass for exclusive access, and connect to all things naturally inspired. Thank you for tuning in today. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
Did you know that a single collagen supplement could support your heart health, help protect against EMF exposure, and reduce inflammation all at the same time? Our preferred foundational collagen not only supports radiant skin and joint mobility, but also promotes heart health, reduces inflammation, strengthens hair and nails, provides added protection against the effects of EMF exposure, and so much more. Our favorite collagen is super absorbable and easy to take. Just 1 tablespoon in the morning and another in the evening for maximum benefits. Here's what our listeners have to say.
This collagen is so easy to take, I've noticed a huge difference in my hair and nails after just a few weeks.
Since I started using Tammy's preferred collagen, my joints feel more flexible and my skin looks smoother.
Try it today at naturallyinspiredradio.com/collagen. When you purchase from Naturally Inspired, you get access to our group health coaching call and so much more. Go to naturallyinspiredradio.com/collagen.
Are you ready to stay informed and inspired 24/7? Tune in to Naturally Inspired Radio anytime, anywhere. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com, or for the best mobile experience, download the Simple Radio app. Search for Naturally Inspired Radio, save it to your favorites, and click on the graphic to listen instantly. Catch live broadcasts, revisit past shows, dive into long-form podcast conversations, and discover rare, censored presentations by leading health experts. Plus, explore documentaries uncovering the hidden truths of occult and esoteric history. Stay connected, stay inspired. Naturally Inspired Radio is always at your fingertips. Tune in now. For health questions or comments, text Tammy directly at 720-303-8868. naturallyinspiredradio.com.
The information and other content provided on this radio show or in any linked materials is provided for informational purposes only, not intended and should not be construed as medical advice. It is not a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment.
Welcome back to Hour 2. You are listening to Naturally Inspired Radio. I want to thank everybody in the chat. Shout out to all the chatters out there, keeping Jason on his toes. And I want to thank Peggy, Brian, Tom, and Dee for being new customers. Welcome to the Naturally Inspired community. We are so glad that you are here. Also, we have a winner. Did you know that we give away product every single Friday? Every single Friday we give away products. So go to naturallyinspiredstore.com where you can enter to win. You can enter to win this. So Angela Fields Carrillo is this week's winner. Angela Fields Carrillo. So Jason will text you to verify address, and then we will ask a few questions about what are you wanting? What is your biggest health concern? And get you some products sent right to your doorstep. That's what we do. We're giving away stuff every week. So enter every week. Don't miss out. Why not, right? Why not enter to win? That's what I say. Stay tuned, because at 4:30, Dr. Christy Hall will be joining us, and we're going to be talking about microplastics, nanoplastics, testing, her new detoxification program. You're going to want to know all about it. So stay tuned for that coming up at 4:30. I also want to remind you that Goreska C60 is a wonderful way to detox and to support your inflammation, support getting rid of inflammation, pain as well. It's a wonderful thing. If you want to know more about C60, go to c60.com, c60.com. You can call Bob too, 720-600-6040, or 6040. Don't forget, if you're buying online, use promo code Tammy for a special discount. Okay, we got a lot to get to here before Dr. Hall comes on. So let's get to it, because I want to play this clip for you from CBS News. Oh my goodness, you guys, this had me really fired up. They're changing the narrative. They're changing the tune to fit their agenda yet again. So this is CBS News, and they've got this lady on here. She's an, quote, expert on vaccines. Just watch and listen carefully. Okay? Watch and listen carefully. Although hard, we need to. Here it is.
Lot of noise out there. Parents should really stick the course and make sure that their children get all of the routine childhood vaccinations. And there will be more announcements coming from professional societies about this in the coming weeks. With respect to COVID vaccines, the American Academy for Pediatrics has reaffirmed that infants, children between the ages of 6 months and 2 years should get their COVID shots. The first encounter with COVID should be with the shot, not with the virus. There is still a very high risk in younger children, particularly 6 months to 2 years, for hospitalization and severe complications if they get COVID. And pregnant women should be getting the COVID vaccine. This is pregnancy is a state of immunosuppression. So it is for the protection of the mom, as well as the best way to protect the baby, both the fetus as well as the infant in their first 6 months of life.
The Vaccine Advisory Committee recently limited use of a preservative called Thimerosal, and is now looking at other chemicals in vaccines. Why are these part of the vaccine? What's their use?
So thimerosal is a form of mercury. Now, people hear mercury and they think, oh, that's dangerous. We're talking about a specific form of mercury, ethyl mercury, which is not the dangerous form. The dangerous form is methyl mercury with an M, so MM. And routine childhood vaccines have actually been thimerosal free for years now, so it's not really even an issue. So big picture, if you're going to worry about methyl mercury, worry about broken thermometers and those skin lightening creams, not about the vaccines. Okay. Now, aluminum is another one Kennedy has also been concerned about. Aluminum nudges the immune system so that you get a longer lasting, more robust immune response with fewer doses. So that's a bonus, and there's no evidence that it's harmful.
The Health and Human Services Secretary also has cited a lack of placebo-controlled vaccine trials.
Wow. Just wow, wow, wow. First of all, this poor woman, I do believe she probably has no idea how she's being used. Because there's just so much wrong with what she said. No evidence that mercury nudges your immune system. There's no evidence that it causes harm. Oh, dear Lord. Read your package insert. Read your packet insert. on vaccines. Okay, just read it. Because what is happening here is this woman has been highly coached. Okay, you can see her glancing down at her notes. She has been put in a room and she has been coached and coached and coached. And these talking heads on the other side of the desk are lobbing her softballs. We got to hit these points. We got to hit these points to try to gain back some sort of trust with the public. We're going to hit their hot buttons, lobbing her questions. And she's ticking them off as she glances down at her notes. She has no idea what she's talking about. She is regurgitating talking points. Because let me tell you, in the package insert, there are severe adverse reactions listed from these products, which is what vaccines are. They're products. They are products. So I've gone all over this stuff so many times. Here's what I want you to really pay attention to this. She's using some new words here. She's saying professional societies. So here's what they're going to do. Because they don't like what Bobby Kennedy is doing, because it hurts their bottom line, it hurts their profits, it hurts their industry. It hurts their industry. Because they don't like what he's doing, they are now going to say, oh, don't listen to the government. You know, the agencies that they were telling you, it's the CDC, it's the WHO, it's the FDA, they know best, it's the gold standard. We are the science. Yeah, they're going to be pivoting from that now. They're going to be pivoting from that now. Now they want you to follow the professional societies. Well, let me just tell you, the professional societies, of course, they're NGOs. They're nonprofit organizations that have lobbyists, that represent the best interest of the corporations and the professionals in the medical field. So your association, your American Pediatric Association, yeah, that's an NGO that has an office in Washington that lobbies for corporation like pharma. As I showed you earlier this week, they literally have the logos from the pharmaceutical companies on their websites. Special thanks to our donors. These NGOs only serve as a pathway to fund lobbyists to pressure legislators to pass laws to promote their products that take the guardrails off their products. And so it makes sense to me why they now want to go around the very agencies that they touted when they were fully captured. Oh, they're the gold standard. It's not us. We're not making recommendations. You got to listen to the CDC. You got to listen to the FDA. You got to listen to these people. Now they're pivoting. Now it's all about the professional societies that take donations from the corporations that sell you the products. This should infuriate you. How is this even legal? That's what I wonder. How is this even legal? They do your own research. Certainly don't take my word for it. What do I know? I just have probably 30 years in health and wellness. I have personal stories, personal experience with pharmaceutical products that have done serious damage. And I just work with people every day that have experienced the same type of thing. But don't take my word for it. Please do not. Go look at the data, because every time a mainstream physician goes and actually looks at the vaccine data, they realize these things are not safe and effective for everybody. That there are very serious side effects like Guillain-Barré syndrome, like thrombocytopenia. Oh, that just means your blood won't clot. Bell's palsy, transverse myelitis, food allergies, asthma, eczema. Stay tuned, everybody. I got a story about Hulk Hogan up next you're going to want to hear. We'll be right back.
Are achy joints holding you back? Are you tired of stiffness slowing you down? It's time to restore with Joint Restore Gummies from Prosper CBD. These delicious strawberry-flavored gummies aren't just tasty, they're designed to soothe joint discomfort, promote flexibility, and help you move freely again. No more messy creams or bitter pills. Just one gummy a day to get you back to doing what you love. Best of all, no prescription needed.
My husband was headed towards knee surgery, and I was having hip pain. A friend recommended these. We tried them, and they worked great. We noticed a difference right away.
Right now, Prosper Wellness is offering a special deal, so don't wait. Go to jointrestore1.com. That's jointrestore1.com. Grab your Joint Restore gummies today. Be sure to use the promo code TAMMY, TAMMY, for 20% off your order.
Did you know 80% of beef consumed in the U.S. comes from 4 major corporations, much of it being imported or processed with additives? Want real beef from a real farm? Pumpkin Creek Ranch does things the right way. Local, grass-fed, dry-aged beef with no additives, no shortcuts, just honest quality.
Pumpkin Creek Ranch beef is the real deal. I love knowing exactly where my meat comes from. No additives, no nonsense, just honest quality beef.
Best beef I've ever had. You can taste the difference. Rich, tender, and packed with real flavor. Plus, supporting a local ranch makes it even better.
From pasture to plate, they raise their cattle with care, so you can get rich, natural flavor that only real ranching can provide. Stock your freezer with premium beef you can trust. Visit pumpkincreekranchco.com or call 970-658-0176.
Did you know that detoxing daily can help remove up to 70% of the toxins in your body? Let me share 3 real stories about how Greska's C60 has helped people feel their best every day. John from Denver, Colorado says,
I've always struggled with seasonal allergies, but since I started taking Greska C60 every day, my symptoms have significantly improved. I don't feel congested or tired all the time. It's been an amazing daily detox for my body, and I feel so much more energized.
Emily from Portland, Oregon says,
As an athlete, I was looking for a way to keep my body clean and detoxed. Greska C60 has been a great addition to my routine. I feel less bloated and I feel more clear-headed. Plus, it's helped me with occasional muscle stiffness and aches after intense workouts.
Visit c60.com or call 720-600-6040 today to start your own journey. Use promo code TAMMY at checkout for a special discount.
Welcome back. You're listening to Naturally Inspired Radio on this really rainy Friday afternoon. I want to shout out to our sponsors, Pumpkin Creek Ranch. If you are looking for regenerative farmed beef, look no further. Head on over to pumpkincreekranchco.com. Seems like everybody's looking for a good solid source for beef. This is it, pumpkincreekranchco.com. And then maybe you saw my episode last week with Mark from LiveO2. You can visit liveO2.com. If you haven't heard of oxygen training, you need to investigate this as a modality, liveO2.com. And then, of course, for your CBD needs, please visit jointrestore1.com. That's Chris over at Prosper Wellness, offering you wonderful solutions for pain at jointrestore1.com. And then, of course, coming up at 4:30, we have our wonderful Dr. Christy Hall at Living Well Nutrition. We're going to learn all about what she does and her new program coming up. So stay stay tuned for that. Hulk Hogan. So, I was so sad. If you were a Gen Xer and you grew up in the 80s, you know who Hulk Hogan is. You loved him probably. I think he was the first person that told me to take my vitamins. And obviously I listened. So it was really sad to hear that Hulk Hogan had passed away. But the plot thickens. Here's an update on what may have happened to Hulk Hogan. Here it is. Take a listen.
Fox News Alert, new updates on the death of wrestling legend Hulk Hogan. TMZ is reporting Hogan may have been a victim of medical malpractice. Senior national correspondent Kevin Cork has more. Kevin.
Pretty crazy story, my friend. The Clearwater, Florida Police Department says tonight the investigation into Hulk Hogan's death is ongoing even now. And that's because Hogan may have been the victim of medical malpractice, which may have cost him his life, according to sources connected to the case. Law enforcement sources tonight tell TMZ that an occupational therapist was present at the wrestling legend's home in Florida when he stopped breathing. And according to a report, the therapist suggested in a recent operation, a surgeon may have severed Hogan's phrenic nerve, which controls the diaphragm, which is the primary muscle responsible for breathing. As of this hour, Hogan's body has not yet been cremated, and while his widow, Sky, says an autopsy has been conducted, we don't know what the findings were. In a statement, Clearwater Police tonight say the unique nature of this case has required us to interview multiple witnesses and seek medical records from a variety of providers. And our detectives continue to do that. All of this takes time, a case we will definitely keep a very...
As if we needed any more reason to have distrust for the medical, the medical mafia, as I like to call them, the mainstream medical system. But, this has been a long time in the making. This kind of, do no harm, or if there is harm done, don't acknowledge it. And COVID accelerated it, obviously. They really pushed it with COVID and broke a lot of people. A lot of people have walked away from the medical system because of COVID, no doubt about it. But really, it's been happening a long, long time. You guys, when I first got into, health and wellness, it was through physical therapy. I was into physical therapy. And I quickly saw how crazy the system was when I learned how to bill people. When I learned in a physical therapy practice how the insurance system worked, it was insane. I thought, really? This is the way this works? You overbill as a entity, as a provider. You overbill and you pray that the insurance company will pay you a fraction of what you're billing for. So what does that do? It just, inflates the cost of care. And that was going on 30 years ago, you guys. And it has only gotten worse and worse and worse. Hospital systems controlled by insurance companies hiring physicians and being the main employer of physicians now, and then deploying them through their hospital systems. Like every aspect of this system is captured. And so this does not surprise me. The quality of care, just think about that. If you are a physician working for a huge corporation and they provide you malpractice insurance and you just kind of go along to get along and you do the protocols and you do the things that they tell you to do because you're kind of working under this big umbrella, like so many physicians do, like 80-90% of physicians work in that model now. There are very few, like 12% of doctors in the country actually own their own business and are held accountable by their reputation. Like, the free market in the medical system. That quality of care actually matters. And then to take it one step further, anybody who really had any kind of, ethics and moral calling, well, they exited the traditional medical model during COVID because what they were asking them to do was wrong, and they knew it. And many people who actually had morals, had ethics, was in it for the right reasons, they couldn't stay there anymore. You're forcing people to take medical interventions they don't need. You are giving people but one protocol to treat themselves for COVID: remdesivir, ventilation. Everything about it felt wrong. And if you were working in the medical field at that time, you had a problem with it. Those people left. So now I'm asking you, who's left there? Who's left there? It's a dangerous place to be at this point. It's a dangerous place to be, and I think most people know it. We desperately need reform in this type of system. So what will happen with Hulk Hogan? I don't know. Certainly very interesting. I am going to jump to our health topic today because I want to make sure we get to it. We only have a few minutes left. What are your gums telling you about your health? Today's health topic is hidden problems that your gums might be signaling to you. Number one, bleeding, inflamed gums may indicate more than poor dental hygiene. This can be a sign of systemic inflammation. And we all know, right? Inflammation is the root of all disease in the body. So the bacteria from gum infections can enter into the bloodstream and contribute to arterial inflammation and inflammation throughout the whole body, actually. Number two, your gums can be an early warning sign of diabetes. Persistent gum infections or slow healing gum tissue can be one of the first red flags for blood sugar dysregulation, even before a diagnosis. Even before any kind of diagnosis, gums may reveal that insulin resistance that we talk about here all the time. Number three, hormone imbalances. Swollen, tender, or receding gums can sometimes point to fluctuations in estrogen, in progesterone, and testosterone. Women may notice gum sensitivity during pregnancy and even menopause, while men with low testosterone can also experience gum changes. And nutrient deficiencies, my favorite. We must identify and address our nutrient deficiencies. Spongy gums, bleeding gums, this all signals deficiency in things like vitamin C, but also in less obvious nutrients like vitamin K or zinc. Zinc is a big one for tissue repair. And of course, omega-3 fatty acids. That's huge for anti-inflammatory. Chronic stress and cortisol overload, receding gums and teeth grinding. They aren't always just about brushing habits. They may reflect high cortisol levels as well and chronic stress, which weakens connective tissue and impairs your immune defense in your mouth. Early signs of autoimmune disease also could be show up in your gums first with gum inflammation and even sores. A lot of sores that don't heal, they may be linked to autoimmune conditions approaching. Conditions often reveal themselves in oral tissue before being formally diagnosed. Number 7, gut health and microbiome imbalance, bad breath. Yeah, your bad breath. Gum infections can reflect deeper gut dysbiosis. Funny joke for you. Kind of a joke? I don't know if it's a joke. How do you tell somebody they have bad breath? I say you just look at them and say, I'm bored. Let's go brush our teeth. Stay tuned, everybody. Christy Hall, Dr. Christy Hall is up next. LivingWellNutrition.com. We'll be right back.
Did you know that a single collagen supplement could support your heart health, help protect against EMF exposure, and reduce inflammation all at the same time. Our preferred foundational collagen not only supports radiant skin and joint mobility, but also promotes heart health, reduces inflammation, strengthens hair and nails, provides added protection against the effects of EMF exposure, and so much more. Our favorite collagen is super absorbable and easy to take. Just 1 tablespoon in the morning and another in the evening for maximum benefits. Here's what our listeners have to say.
This collagen is so easy to take, I've noticed a huge difference in my hair and nails after just a few weeks.
Since I started using Tammy's preferred collagen, my joints feel more flexible and my skin looks smoother.
Try it today at naturalinspiredраdio.com/collagen. When you purchase from Naturally Inspired, you get access to our group health coaching call and so much more. Go to naturalinspiredradio.com/collagen. Did you know that medicinal mushrooms are excellent for pets? Take our preferred pet health products for joint health, skin health, antioxidant protection, cell health, anti-aging benefits, gut health, liver support, cholesterol regulation, blood pressure support, brain health, anxiety relief, respiratory health, endurance and strength, anti-fatigue, and much more. Available in easy-to-take treats, great-tasting gravy, and our pet food blends.
Since adding mushroom dog food to my dog's diet, I've noticed a huge improvement in his energy and coat health. He's like a puppy again, even at 10 years old.
After starting my care on mushroom super sauce, her immune health and digestion have noticeably improved. She's more playful, and her fur has never looked shinier.
Learn how to get free shipping and how to join our monthly mushroom call. Text Tammy with questions or to order at 720-303-8868. Visit naturalinspiredradio.com/mushroom. That's naturalinspiredradio.com/mushroom.
Are you ready to stay informed and inspired 24/7? Tune in to Naturally Inspired Radio anytime, anywhere. Visit naturalinspiredradio.com, or for the best mobile experience, download the Simple Radio app. Search for Naturally Inspired Radio, save it to your favorites, and click on the graphic to listen instantly. Catch live broadcasts, revisit past shows, dive into long-form podcast conversations, and discover rare, censored presentations by leading health experts. Plus, explore documentaries uncovering the hidden truths of occult and esoteric history. Stay connected, stay inspired. Naturally Inspired Radio is always at your fingertips. Tune in now. For health questions or comments, text Tammy directly at 720-303-8868. naturalinspiredradio.com.
I'm bored. Let's go brush our teeth. I love it. I love it. Dr. Christy Hall is a board-certified holistic nutritionist and founder of Living Well Nutrition in Loveland, Colorado, with a PhD in holistic nutrition and advanced certifications in natural health. Christy specializes in uncovering the root cause of chronic illness, including mental health issues. She uncovers the root cause of chronic illness through functional testing and personalized nutrition strategies. She works with clients facing autoimmune conditions, hormone imbalances, digestive issues, even genetic conditions and chronic fatigue, guiding them toward healing with whole foods, targeted supplementation, and lifestyle changes. Welcome to Naturally Inspired. How are you, Dr. Hall?
Well, I'm celebrating the end of the week. How about you?
Same. And it's rainy in our neck of the woods today. It's kind of nice.
It's kind of cold.
Yeah. Fall is coming. But, you know, it's nice to cool down once in a while. That's for sure. Yes. I want to talk to you about what you got going on there at Living Well Nutrition, because detoxing is a buzzword, right? It's a buzzword. So tell me a little bit about, how do I know if I need a detox?
Well, let's see. If you have a breath and if you were born in the United States and you haven't had a detox yet this year, it's due, right? So the U.S. government has been running tests on quote unquote healthy people for 20, 25 years and looking at the toxins in their bloodstream. And guess what? We're always toxic. Always. I mean, we haven't toxins, they've been fairly steady over the last 20 years, but we are the most toxic people on the planet of any country that tests their population. And they're testing quote unquote healthy people. And so we all walk around thinking, oh, I'm so healthy, everything's great. And then, you turn 50 and it's like, oh my gosh, now I've got, coronary artery disease, or I'm a stroke risk, or I've now got type 2 diabetes, or fill in the blank, depression. Take a look at the crap that's been floating through your bloodstream for the last 30 years and see if it might have something to do with your health, your chronic health conditions.
So can you explain how you're able to measure exposure to nano and microplastics in the body?
I'm so glad you asked. It's a blood test, and it's a very simple blood test. And I was just exposed to this for the first time in April of this year. I did not know about it. I didn't know that we could test for microplastics in our blood. And I went to the National Association of Nutrition Professionals conference, and they were there, and they did blood tests on anyone that wanted to do a blood test. And then they had us take a supplement, and it's a pre-digested probiotic that helps to reduce plastics in your body. And then at the end of 30 days, you retest to see, did you have a change in the number or the amount of plastics in your bloodstream? And it was so cool. So I had plastics, measurable plastics, and I think I know where they came from, and we can talk about that.
Okay.
Took that supplement. It was so easy to take, just a couple of pills at bedtime every night. And then I retook my test at 30 days and no measurable plastics in my bloodstream.
Wow. Where you got me curious now, because I know how clean you eat and I know your lifestyle. So I'm like, where were you getting plastics from?
So it totally ties into the last joke you told.
Oh, no.
So after working all day and talking to people all day, I'm on my way home. And the first thing I do when I go home is I kiss my husband. And I don't want to kiss him with day old breath, right?
Right.
So I kept gum in my car, and I would just pop gum in my mouth, chew gum for 5 or 10 minutes, and spit it out. But gum is a major source of microplastics.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I know.
I know. Let's just add it to the list.
Right? I know. I was pretty, that's just so disconcerting. So now it's like, well, I need to get a toothbrush and toothpaste and just keep it here at my desk and brush my teeth before jumping in the car.
So what are some of the ways that nanoplastics and microplastics impact our health over time?
Oh, gosh. Well, thankfully, researchers have been watching and measuring and looking at, okay, is our microplastics a problem, or nanoplastics? And if so, where are they going? And they've been looking at liver tissue, looking at brain tissue. And of course, we're having to look at people who are deceased, right? Mm-hmm. And why did they die? And what we see is people that have cognitive issues like cognitive decline, Alzheimer's type issues, they have a lot of plastics in their brain. In fact,
so it crosses the blood-brain barrier.
Yeah, it does. It does.
Oh, no.
There was a research study that came out, and it told how many, how much by weight plastics were found in the brain. It was equivalent to a plastic spoon or a credit card. And, you think that's a lot of junk that doesn't belong there. But that's not the only place plastics land. They land, like I said, in your liver. They can land in your kidney. They can land in your testes.
And this is why we're seeing...
We've got men whose swimmers are not swimming. And I think this probably has a lot to do with it. And so, when you're having fertility problems, there's a lot that you want to do, but now we need to add detox microplastics to the list.
And so plastics, I immediately, when you say men, I'm thinking like fast food containers and stuff.
Sure.
You know, because isn't even the inside of these like paper cups, isn't that even coated with wax or some sort of plastic as well? And I would think, stop by the local corner store and you get yourself a big drink every day.
Yeah.
And that's going to add up, isn't it?
Yeah. And then we're a microwave generation, right? So many people are using their microwaves for preparing food. You get a frozen meal and you pop it in your microwave. Well, that container usually is plastic. We're heating it up. We're heating our food in it. It's just a really bad move.
Yeah. So a quick swap we could do is just don't do that, right? Even if you're buying plastic stuff that's in plastic, because I know it's hard. You can request your meat, though, at the butcher. You can request to get paper, seafood, whatever you're buying or whatever. If you're not buying from Pumpkin Creek Ranch, ask for the paper. You can do certain things to minimize it.
Right.
I always say, don't get crazy. Right? Because these things can turn into OCD.
Oh, yes. Yes, they can. They can. And so people are like, don't freeze food in plastics. I kind of have a hard time with that one. It's like, go ahead and freeze your food, especially if you can freeze it like on a cookie sheet or something, and then dump it in your plastic bag and then take it out of the plastic bag when you're ready to thaw it. I think, even if you're buying bacon at the store, it comes in plastic, right?
Mm-hmm.
So one of the first things we do is we just take the plastic off, rinse, pat it dry, wrap it in paper.
There you go. Yeah, you can change it when you get home. And it's a little hack, your produce lasts way longer when you take it out of the plastic bags, right? I have paper bags that I just put in my drawer, like old lunch sacks, and I'll just put my stuff right in there if it comes in plastic. I try not to buy it in plastic, but if I have to, that's what I do. And it lasts longer anyway. Your produce lasts longer. Okay, let's talk about detox pathways. We got a couple minutes before we go to break. So
so fun.
Yes.
So fun. So
yes.
Plastics, we don't detox plastics like we detox other things.
Oh no.
It's a different kind of detox. So when you've got heavy metals in your body, you want to be using like ionic foot baths where you're doing negative and positive ions. You want to do things like zeolite, that help to attract like a magnetic pull to those heavy metals that are released from the body. Mm-hmm. So you can pull out heavy metals, not so much with plastics. It's more like a diffusion. So the key, step one, obviously, is reduce your exposure to the degree possible. Like get rid of the chewing gum. Also, by the way, get rid of tea bags, loose leaf tea only, tea bags.
Okay.
Microplastics, nanoplastics.
Even the organic ones?
Even the organic ones. So loose leaf tea only, get a little metal tea diffuser. So step one is reduce your exposure. Step two is remove it from the bloodstream. If it's floating through your body, you got to get rid of that first. Then the organs will begin to release the plastic.
Oh my goodness. So you have to coerce them out, so to speak.
Yeah. So reduce it from, your blood and your organs. If it's a lot in your blood, it's going to collect in your organs, reduce what's in the blood, and the organs will start to release. Right?
It makes perfect sense because I always say like everything that your body is doing is for your survival because it knows nothing else but to keep you well. So it's holding on to those until it's safe to let them into the bloodstream. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. When we come back, we'll pick up with Dr. Christy Hall. You can give her a call at 970-966-8419. Visit livingwellnutrition.com. We'll be right back, everybody. Stay tuned.
Did you know that a single collagen supplement could support your heart health, help protect against EMF exposure, and reduce inflammation all at the same time? Our preferred foundational collagen not only supports radiant skin and joint mobility, but also promotes heart health, reduces inflammation, strengthens hair and nails, provides added protection against the effects of EMF exposure, and so much more. Our favorite collagen is super absorbable and easy to take. Just 1 tablespoon in the morning and another in the evening for maximum benefits. Here's what our listeners have to say.
This collagen is so easy to take, I've noticed a huge difference in my hair and nails after just a few weeks.
Since I started using Tammy's preferred collagen, my joints feel more flexible and my skin looks smoother.
Try it today at naturalinspiredradio.com/collagen. When you purchase from Naturally Inspired, you get access to our group health coaching call and so much more. Go to naturalinspiredradio.com/collagen. Did you know that medicinal mushrooms are excellent for pets? Take our preferred pet health products for joint health, skin health, antioxidant protection, sow health, anti-aging benefits, gut health, liver support, cholesterol regulation, blood pressure support, brain health, anxiety relief, respiratory health, endurance and strength, anti-fatigue, and much more. Available in easy-to-take treats, great tasting gravy, and our pet food blends.
Since adding mushroom dog food to my dog's diet, I've noticed a huge improvement in his energy and coat health. He's like a puppy again, even at 10 years old.
After starting my care on mushroom super sauce, her immune health and digestion have noticeably improved. She's more playful, and her fur has never looked shinier.
Learn how to get free shipping and how to join our monthly mushroom call. Text Tammy with questions or to order at 720-303-8868. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com/mushroom. That's naturallyinspiredradio.com/mushroom.
Are you ready to stay informed and inspired 24/7? Tune in to Naturally Inspired Radio anytime, anywhere. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com, or for the best mobile experience, download the Simple Radio app. Search for Naturally Inspired Radio, save it to your favorites, and click on the graphic to listen instantly. Catch live broadcasts, revisit past shows, dive into long-form podcast conversations, and discover rare, censored presentations by leading health experts. Plus, explore documentaries uncovering the hidden truths of occult and esoteric history. Stay connected, stay inspired. Naturally Inspired Radio is always at your fingertips. Tune in now. For health questions or comments, text Tammy directly at 720-303-8868. naturallyinspiredradio.com.
Taking notes here, learning from Dr. Christy Hall. I did not know that about my tea bags. I thought if I was organic, I was okay. And you know what? I even have one of those loose leaf tea things, and I have loose. I got to get rid of the tea bags now. Taking notes here, listening to Dr. Christy Hall. Visit livingwellnutrition.com for more information on all of the work that she does. Welcome back, Dr. Hall. We were just talking about being able to detox our organs and whatnot. But I want to know about this program that you're offering, because I know people that are listening are going to be like, I need to detox. Because, I ask people all the time, what do you think your toxic burden is? And they're like, oh my gosh, I can't imagine, because like you said, you hit your 50s and you're like, it's been a long, especially in the 80s. I mean, we didn't know anything back then about this stuff.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So we are going to do a group detox class. And so it'll be just one night a week on Zoom, 4 weeks. And what I'm going to coach you on is how to prepare for detoxification. That means identifying everything in your environment that is toxic, right? You have to limit your exposure so you're not constantly just retoxing after you detox. So we start with that on the first week, and then we talk about food. What is your food doing? Is your food toxic? Is it not toxic? We'll be talking about gum and tea bags and some of the other things. We'll talk about the quality of fats in your diet. So lots of details there. Then we're going to talk about what are those organs of detoxification and how do you support those organs through detoxification, right? So what are those foundational things that you need? I'm also going to go into all the things that you can take. No one needs all the things. A lot of people have things already in their house, or they're just going to react better to certain things. And so we'll be talking about that. And then we talk about how to live that detox life moving forward.
Awesome. And how do people get signed up for this class? So
they can go to my website, livingwellnutrition.com, and sign up there. I know my web designer's been working on that today, so we'll see if that link is live yet. Or you can just call the office, 970-966-8419.
And because this is on Zoom, anybody can attend this, right? You don't have to be in the...
And we'll record it.
Okay,
so
that's
if you
awesome.
Can't make it, we're going to be doing it on Tuesday nights from 5 to 6. If that's not a great time for you, it's going to be recorded. If you've got questions, you just email questions to us, and we will answer those during the Zoom session.
Oh, that sounds perfect. You mentioned quality fats. Okay, so is it true that we store toxins in our fats?
Yeah, we do. And so when our detox pathways are not able to keep up with clearing those, they're going to store those toxins. And a lot of times belly fat is just stored toxins, right? So the body's going to protect itself, like you mentioned. And so, and there are toxins that we think of as water soluble. And Tammy, no, they're not. No, they're not. Because I've watched people and I've done enough blood testing on people. Like we said, glyphosate. Oh, glyphosate from Roundup, it's water soluble. You just sweat it out. No, you don't. You do not. I don't know why they think that, but I've tested loads of people, and it's not just to go sit in the sauna and you're going to get rid of your glyphosate. We have to work a little harder. We have to go a little deeper to move that out.
Now, talk to me a little bit about weight loss in terms of this idea of storing toxins. Does it inhibit weight loss when you're toxic?
It's going to inhibit, because if your detox pathways are not able to safely get rid of those toxins, it's not going to let you, right? Your body's going to take care of you. That's its job. And so it's not going to release those toxins until it's safe. And so that's going to mean making sure you've got all those micronutrients that you need, making sure you got a protein. I know you really harp on the protein. People that go on these diets, that these quote unquote detoxes, and it's just, lemon water. That's not, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That is,
Cayenne
that's
pepper.
not a detox. That's a cleanse.
No.
Okay. And a cleanse has its place, but you have to have protein on board to detox. And then we need those things that are going to really pull those toxins out, right? And some people are going to do really well with N-acetylcysteine. Other people, that's not going to be a great match for them, and they need to do something different.
And so inflammation too, I have read, and maybe you can confirm this, like people can carry up to like 10 pounds or more of just inflamed tissue. Yeah. So having this amount of microplastics in you, could that be the cause of,
it's certainly going to
inflammation?
contribute. I mean, anything that's in your body that doesn't belong there is going to contribute to that inflammation. And I just had someone in my office just this week who walked in and she said, I've gained 20 pounds and I'm just puffy everywhere. Well, okay, that's not a great sign. And it's good that she's taking action, right? Rather than, I'm getting older. No, it's not getting older.
Yeah. I hate that. I hate that when people think that this is just part of getting older. Weight gain is part of getting older. Feeling fatigued is part of getting
it's like,
older.
No, that's a red flag that something is out of balance. Let's fix it.
Exactly. Let's talk a little bit about prevention. What can people do? Say they do your detox class, they learn, will that help with prevention? And I always say ABD, always be detoxing.
It's so true. So that week one, we're really going to talk about identifying all this stuff. And so when you join that class, you're getting a 50-page ebook, and there's charts in there. It's showing you, okay, this is how you're going to inventory everything that's in your garage, inventory the things in your laundry room, inventory the things under your kitchen sink, and inventory the things that are in your bathroom. Are they safe? Are they not safe? How do you find the safe products? So we'll be talking about that. I've got some suggestions, some easy swaps for folks to make it simple for them. That is a process, going through that. You could literally spend a month or two just on that. But I want to give people the tools that they can do this on their own at a pace that they can handle.
I love that, because it can be overwhelming and also it can be costly, right? If you feel like you have to throw everything out and start from fresh, you feel that's overwhelming. So I love that you do that.
I want to share something with you real quick. This was so powerful. And you talk about, people don't want to waste money. They don't want to throw products away. At a conference, I was at the IFM conference in May. There were researchers there who had been working with people with ALS. Now, we all know if you get the diagnosis of ALS, you're going to be dead rather soon. You're going to lose all function of your body, and that's the end. They took people that were already diagnosed with ALS. One guy in particular was in a reclining wheelchair on an oxygen tube, could not eat, could not breathe on his own, could not walk. They went in to these people's houses and removed all the toxic substances. They interviewed that man while he was on a walk down the beach. They were reversing ALS.
Gosh.
And they said specifically you could not even have a a herbicide in your garage.
And some people, as I've learned from you, right, we have these genetic SNPs in our genetic makeup that make us more susceptible to reacting to different chemicals. It's what bothers one person doesn't necessarily bother the next.
That's exactly
Is that
right.
correct?
That's exactly right. And we know the gene that you need to have working to get like glyphosate out of your system. And if that gene's not working, I guarantee you're collecting glyphosate because it's in our air, water, and on our food. And so we can support that and get that out of your system.
And you offer that as a service too, don't you? What does that look like? So when you spit, I've done it, so I know exactly how it works. But when you get your results back, what information can you tell people after you've read that?
Yeah, we look at all of the detox genes. So we were looking at phase 1 and phase 2 and phase 3 detox pathways. We're looking at other things like your methylation pathways. We're looking at your vulnerability to inflammation. So we're looking at all of that. So we'll start taking kind of that bullseye view of what's going on with detox pathways, but then we're gonna zero out, right? We're gonna zoom out so that we get a bigger picture of what's going on with your health and where your weaknesses are.
And that's something separate from the detox stuff. I mean, that's a little bit different. But I think this detox program that you're offering is an excellent place to start. And are you judgmental, Dr. Christy Hall?
I am not judgmental because before I went to nutrition school, I was drinking a 6-pack of Coke a day, and my breakfast was Oreo cookies. So that's where I started, right? And then very few people start in a worse position than me.
I just like to make sure people know who they're talking to, because health can be kind of snooty. It can be kind of snooty. People, oh, you're doing this or you're doing that. And that's not the point here, right? That's not why we're called to do what we do. We want to help. We are empathetic. We know how the world is not set up for us to be successful with our health.
My vision is to see people have vibrant health so they can live their best lives. That's what I want.
That's awesome. Tell me again where people can connect to you. Give your website again.
And the phone number is 970-966-8419.
LivingWellNutrition.com, everybody. This is Dr. Christy Hall. Thank you so much for being on Naturally Inspired Radio today.
Tammy. Always good to see you.
Always good to see you. See you soon. Bye, everybody. We'll see you Monday. Thanks so much for joining us today.
Are you ready to stay informed and inspired 24/7? Tune in to Naturally Inspired Radio anytime, anywhere. Visit naturallyinspiredradio.com, or for the best mobile experience, download the Simple Radio app. Search for Naturally Inspired Radio, save it to your favorites, and click on the graphic to listen instantly. Catch live broadcasts, revisit past shows, dive into long-form podcast conversations, and discover rare, censored presentations by leading health experts. Plus, explore documentaries uncovering the hidden truths of occult and esoteric history. Stay connected, stay inspired. Naturally Inspired Radio is always at your fingertips. Tune in now. For health questions or comments, text Tammy directly at 720-303-8868. naturallyinspiredradio.com.
Nearly 40% of Americans struggle with a $400 emergency expense. An extra $300 a month can be the difference between stability and financial stress.
Are you feeling the pinch of rising expenses? Imagine what an extra $300, $500, or even $1,000 a month can do for you. Introducing a simple 3-step system designed to help you create a steady income without the overwhelm. Step 1, follow our easy-to-use plan. Step 2, take small, consistent actions. Step 3, stay motivated with weekly coaching designed to keep you on track and moving forward. Whether you're saving for a family vacation, paying down debt, or just looking for breathing room, this system is for you. You don't need special skills, just the desire to make change. Join a growing community of success stories today. Visit simpleincome.info or text 720-764-7448.